Are the Chelsea players, the Chelsea youngsters in particular, perhaps better than you thought they would be when you signed?
One, I work closely with Mason, so I know Mason very well. He's probably taken to the Premier League and this top level, say, quicker than what I thought, but I've been really pleasantly surprised by how well he's taken to it. I didn't have any doubts long term. I just didn't know it would be the start of the season that he would put me under pressure to play him in pre-season, and he did, the way he performed. With Tammy, I think with a striker, and you'll know better than me on this one, but you don't know until they are scoring those regular goals. You don't know, he scored goals in the Championship last year, the expectation, the level of defences he's playing against, what that means for his confidence, for him to hit the ground running again.
How impressed have you been with him? Because he just looks like he's got the all-round centre-forwards game.
Yeah, really impressed. Really impressed with his personality, his desire to work. I knew he had great attributes. I've known that he scored goals throughout his years in the academy and in the Championship now twice. But the big question mark was, well, can he do it at this level up? And from day one, his enthusiasm to improve. He loves scoring goals in training. He loves scoring goals, and he's a great teammate. He's big, he's powerful, he wants to run behind. It's a big thing we've worked on him probably this year, is making sure that he's not just a target. He uses every little bit of his attributes to be able to run and stretch defences, and I think he's taken to that.
Your young players, they have been terrific. There was obviously the transfer ban over a couple of windows, which may or may not have influenced your decisions in that way. But they are keeping one or two big names out. Giroud, Pedro, for example.
Yeah, and I think transfer ban or no transfer ban, I decided for sure that I wanted Mason to be around because I knew him closely, and I wanted Tammy to be around because of what he did last year, and strikers are going to be very critical to what you do. When people sometimes talk about Mason and Tammy a lot, they tend to overlook Tomori, and for me, Tomori is probably the proudest one for me, because his pathway went straight. How well he did last year, I can't even describe. It come with these real raw attributes as a centre back, and then at the end of the season to be someone who was confident on the ball, part of a team, a bit of a leader, whose personality came out. Unless I trusted Fikayo, there's no way that David Luiz could have moved to Arsenal and we left ourselves with three. So I had to trust in him. Every one of them has got competition with other players. It's all up to them how they prove themselves, that I can pick them, because this is cutthroat. Young boys or not, great potential or not, then it's not going to be enough for a team like Chelsea.
It must be quite exciting to be part of something seemingly fresh. People actually enjoy watching the team play and enjoy the freshness of the side.
Fans appreciate young players coming through. We know that. So to see them come through in a batch and come through with a bit of personality, I think they're all nice stories in their own right, and I think people are taken well to that. My worry is that stage 2, and we're only very, very early, and we're not even in stage 2 maybe, is that the tests will keep coming. And we've had this lovely breakthrough. We started pretty well, but we want more. Next stage is, well, where are we going to go from here? And so we need to make sure that the curve keeps going in the right direction.
Do you feel a need to invest perhaps in the winter transfer?
I think with Chelsea you would always be potential to invest and improve. And I think if there's one thing about the transfer ban, it was obviously stopped us bringing people in. It also stopped me being able to bring in, which I definitely felt at Derby last year, that when I could bring in my own players that were kind of aligned with the way I wanted to play in terms of the attributes that you bring them in with. I think that helps set the tone of what you want to do. And I didn't have that opportunity. But as we go forward and the way I want us to go, for sure, I would like us to improve in certain areas. And this has given us a 6 months or a season to look at it and see, which has probably not been a bad pause of breath for us. So the young boys have come in and done well, but we must remember that we do want to improve in certain areas.
Roman Abramovich, is he still as involved as he was? He doesn't seem to come to as many matches these days. Obviously had issues with visas, etc. Apparently, is he still as keen?
Yes, from my point of view.
Do you have a lot of conversations with him, or
not particularly?
No.
I speak closely with Mourinho, who would be my boss basically at work, and we speak a lot. And it's important for me, that relationship, because I think for the club to move forward in a healthy way, that needs to be very honest back and forth. And then that basically is speaking to Roman. I know that he still cares about the club. He's always asking via Mourinho for my thoughts and what we're doing. Hopefully one day or whatever he can come back to games more, or what will be, but I definitely feel the support anyway.
Is he on board with the trajectory, the fact, bringing some of these young players, because they've invested massively in the academy over so many years. It always seemed to be not a waste, because obviously lots of players have done pretty well everywhere else, but it did seem a bit of a shame not to actually get many of them into the Chelsea first team.
Without a doubt. I mean, I thought that from the outside, and when if you're going to invest like that, and And working closely now with the academy, the staff there are amazing. They deserve so much credit. You know, Tammy and Mason and Fikayo have been there since under 8s. Reece James, it's under 8s, so they've really gone through the system. And they've produced great young men and very talented young footballers. So yeah, it would have been a waste. Yeah. That's what the academy is there
I saw
for.
Jody Morris intimated that it was really frustrating that not too many of the Chelsea managers even probably knew the names of these young stars.
Yeah, and you know, I get it to a degree, and particularly where we have probably recruited a lot of managers from far afield, foreign countries who come to England. That this is a Chelsea job. Everyone's saying, do or die. If you don't succeed in 6 months or a year, you can get a sack, all this stuff. So I think I get the first priority being, let's look at what I've got in the first team squad. But what I do think is overlooked was that other building across the road, which is really close, where you can actually see what you've got, give the club a feeling of togetherness. I think it's much appreciated. I know that. So I don't want to sit and look at ex-managers and criticise the fact, because we're all doing our jobs. But there's certainly been times over the last 4 or 5 years where a Ruben Loftus-Cheek and these people could have been given opportunities, and I think they would have had similar outcomes to what we've seen with Tammy and Mason.
Right, Jose Mourinho. Were you surprised when he got the Tottenham job?
Yes and no. I mean, this is football, so there have been some rumours about him coming back. He's a man for a big club. Yes and no, because of what we're so used to in the modern day. So I think it's massively interesting for the Premier League. I think his personality and his record is something that needs to be in top level football. So I love Pochettino, I have to say. I met Maurizio a few times and he was incredible with me. Classy man. He'll move on to some real nice challenges wherever he goes, but having Jose back is obviously going to mix it right up in the Premier League.
How will that change Spurs from your experience of working with him?
Well, I think that Jose, we know the record that Jose has as a winning manager. He's won wherever he's been. And I think, he's a pragmatic manager. And that can be seen as a negative, but I don't mean it totally negative. We used to get criticised, the early Chelsea team I played in, for being somewhat boring, but we weren't. We had Robin and Duff, and that we had some tools that could really hurt teams, but we were also really organised. But I think Jose's first thing is to be organised, is to be structured. So I think he'll work on that with Tottenham. And then on top of that, he has some really talented players there. He's come into a club and a squad that were probably tipped to be somewhat in a title race this year at the beginning of the season. Had a difficult start, but they still have those players. And so with the freshness of a Jose Mourinho, of course they're going to be challengers for sure, top 4.
What will it be like sat on the opposite dugout? Will it make any difference that it's Jose Mourinho, that you spent so many years with him, brought so much success together?
Of course it will.
Be special?
I think it will be special. I think it will make a difference to me. It will make a difference to him because we're both professionals. We're driven. And sometimes when you come across someone you've worked with or a club that you've worked with, it pushes you on that little bit more in the best possible way. And it's Tottenham Chelsea.
I know.
So
exactly.
That game has enough anyway. And then you have Jose Mourinho there. Who he's going to be desperate to beat us.
Will it mean a little bit more for you because he's there?
With my professional head, yes, of course. I want to go up against the best. When I've gone up against Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp this season, of course you want to say, can I show against these incredible managers what I can do, what my team can do? So it'll be a similar feeling.
Is there a target? Has anyone set you any targets, or have you set yourself targets?
No, I haven't been set targets, other than to the fact that to know that this club needs to be competitive. Now, what does that mean? It's a hard one, and the Premier League is much more competitive now when you talk about who's fighting for these top 4 spots or top 1 or 2.
That would be a great achievement your first season, though, wouldn't it? Top 4?
Yeah.
Given the circumstances, given the transfer windows, given the amount of young talent that you've got playing.
Yeah, I think so. Because I always want more. I find it hard to say that, but you have to be a realist. And when we look at what Liverpool and what City are not just doing now, but what they've done for 2 years and the gap that they've opened up, it's the challenge there for us to close. Considering we lost Eden Hazard, it was huge for this club last year. I'm a huge fan of Eden, and what his input in terms of goals and assists was massive, and we had to find a way around that. And the young boys are still in that. We're still that work in progress. So to do that and then to go, okay, where do we go forward when we can invest, and when we do see these younger players 1 year further down the line, then that could be a good position for us.
What's been the most enjoyable thing this season managing Chelsea?
Winning games is an obvious answer. I think probably to see the team And when you have performances where you see the team that you want to see, which is the team that has speed, I want a team that's fast. I want them to be fast on and off the ball. It takes a lot of work. The lads have to work a lot in training. In pre-season, I got quite a few faces from a few of them and a few question marks when we were running, and it was important for me to sort of slightly break them at that point and let them know that I felt that we had to train how we wanted to play. So there have been some performances this year where I've seen a team with speed and an ability to give everything and run and move the ball quickly and win the ball back because we're so aggressive. And when I have those moments, that's when I come home really happy.
Yeah. And what's the worst part? Obviously losing games.
Yeah.
That aside, what is the most difficult thing? Leaving players out, possibly?
Yeah, I mean,
Can't be easy.
That's always there. That's always there. And I don't care who you are as a manager. I think this. I mean, unless there are some people that have no emotion in their life because, you know, you have to do it every few days, pretty much. So that can be difficult, but you have to do what you think is best for the club. But your job depends on it.
You're enjoying it, are you?
Yeah, I am.
You are?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. You seem to be.
No, I am, and it's the intensity of it makes that not an easy question to answer. I've been asked it a lot now, and I think to say that you enjoy every moment of every day, it's difficult to say that because you're striving. You're always striving for more. But at the same time, I feel very proud and honoured to be managing the club that is so close to my heart and my football life. So that gives me a great sense of enjoyment.
Yeah. Well, you're giving us a lot of pleasure anyway, watching the development of your young side. So, and continued success.
Thank you. Cheers, Gary. Thanks a lot. Thank you.